So you're telling me you want an American-made big bore with a German barrel that puts out over 400 foot-pounds of energy, and you want it quiet? Do we have anything like that? This sexy beast is just the thing. Welcome to Airgun Depot's definitive guide to the AirForce Texan SS in .45 caliber. The Texan SS is based on Air Force's proven Texan platform. The SS comes in at just over 45 inches, weighs 8.45 pounds, and so it's a few inches shorter than the Texan and weighs almost half a pound more. But what you get is this on the end. But let's start at this end. The Air Force Texan has the same butt plate that the other Air Force guns have. It adjusts for length of pull, cant, cast on, and cast off. Simple, but very adjustable. Here we have the air tank, which is the butt stock. They have a nice piece of padding on here to keep your cheek warm. And moving forward, we see that it's got a Foster quick disconnect fill port. That is the best fill port in the world. I don't know why every air gun doesn't come with one, but you don't have to keep track of probes. You just hook on your hose and off you go. On the other side, we have a gauge. It shows that you fill up the gun to 3,000 PSI. The gauge goes to 4,000, but keep it under 3,000. If you fill more, you won't get more power out of this gun. You'll get valve lock and you'll actually get lower power. This valve is designed perfectly to work in that 3,000 PSI range. Here, you'll see that different from the Condor, the Talon, some of the other Air Force guns, but in common with the Air Force Texan, we have a side lever cocking mechanism. This thing is smooth as butter and pushes back a pretty heavy spring with very little effort. When you open it up, you expose the breech and you single load the ammunition and seat it firmly into the breech. Seat it firmly so that every shot starts with the bullet in the same place. Pull that back and you're ready to go. The safety on the Texan and on Air Force's other guns is right in front of the trigger. It flips on easily and it comes back on safe easily. Really convenient. This gun can be easily uncocked. So we pull the lever forward, pull it back a hair, take the safety off, and pull the trigger while pushing the lever back. Now moving on to the other side. When I pull back the cocking lever, when I push it forward, rather, you'll see that it exposes a tuning window here. Why do you need a tuning window? Well, this allows you to adjust for different weights of ammunition. Why is that necessary? Well, when you have a 400 grain bullet in here, it has so much mass that it provides back pressure on the valve, that when the air comes out, it puts back pressure on that valve and leaves it open for long enough to get enough air out to push the bullet. But if you put a round ball in, something in the 100-150 grain range, the valve doesn't get that back pressure, and so you have to increase the hammer spring tension. Now, in my experience, having a fairly high level of hammer spring tension works for most ammunitions. The Texan SS features the standard Texan 11mm rail on top for scope, accessories, other optics. You also have an 11mm rail here and on the top and bottom of the suppressor. It's dying to put a bipod on there. Okay, let's look at this. This is what makes this gun special. This is Air Force's proprietary Sound-Loc technology. Inside this shroud are a series of baffles that cut the noise down a lot. We tested the Texan in the .357 caliber and we got 117 decibels on our meter. And the Texan SS in .45 caliber is giving us about 107 decibels. Now, if we tested the .357 because that's what we had on hand. A .45 Texan that's not silenced is going to be a lot louder than a 357. So it's really working. Now that's not to say that it makes this a quiet gun. It takes the bite out of it, so you can shoot it without hearing protection, but it's still not backyard friendly. I mean, you'd have to have a big backyard or some pretty understanding neighbors, but it does its job and it makes it safe on the ears. Now, to get this on here, they've had to take the barrel. The 34-inch barrel on the Texan is cut down to 24 3/4 inches. That means that you get a little bit less power out of it. You're losing about 100 foot-pounds. The Texan will do, 500 foot-pounds. The Texan SS will max out at about 430 foot-pounds. That's still more than you're getting with almost any other big bore. The majority of big bores are not going to put out as much even as this silenced Texan. So if you're willing to live with a little bit less power, which is still a lot of power, but you need the sound suppression technology, then the Texan SS is a gun you should really look at. Okay, let's look at the trigger. It's a 2-stage trigger that adjusts for position only. It's crisp and lets off predictably, but let's see how much it weighs. £2, 7 ounces. The 2 bullets that we found were most accurate were the Venturi 405 grain flat nose bullet and the Aeromagnum 259 grain Lone Star hollow point. The Venturi 405 grain bullet leaves the barrel at 677 feet per second for a muzzle energy of 412 foot-pounds. And the Aeromagnum leaves the barrel at 773 feet per second for a muzzle energy of 325 foot-pounds. Obviously, the Aeromagnum is going to shoot with a bit flatter trajectory, but they're both extremely accurate. So how does the Texan SS shoot? Well, let's take a look. The 405 grain bullets put 3 shots into 0.82 inches. Now we're doing 3-shot groups because even though you can eke out 4, maybe 5 shots, to keep it really tight, you'll want to refill after 3 shots. At 50 yards, it put 3 shots into 0.91 inches. And at 75 yards, it put 3 in 1 inch. That is a great group. The Aeromagnums put 3 shots into a 0.93 inches at 35 yards. Now this is 3 shots. The first 2 shots went into the exact same hole. And then I got so excited, of course, that I pulled the 3rd one. At 50 yards, the Aeromagnum put 3 shots into ½ an inch. That's a minute of angle accuracy out of a big bore. This is really a great gun. And at 75 yards, the Aeromagnums put 3 shots into a 1.2 inch group. So if you get a Texan SS, click on the link below and buy these 2 bullets first. I think you're going to love them. So what do I think about the AirForce Texan SS? I love it. I think you're getting an incredible gun. This thing is powerful, it's accurate. For a big bore, it's really quiet. It's not too long, it's not too heavy. You can carry this around, you can beat it up in the brush. You're getting solid aluminum construction here. AirForce makes precision quality guns that will last a lifetime. If you are looking for a gun to hunt up to big game with, then you should definitely take a look at the Texan SS. And if this video has been helpful, then like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And tell us what definitive guide you'd like us to do next. Thanks for watching.